Thanks for being here, Mr. Undersecretary. I have a number of questions about this. You're saying it's a one-stop, the day they buy the car and register the car, they're going to pay like a flat fee that supposedly covers that alternative energy vehicle's use of Pennsylvania's road.
It's an annual fee.
But there's no per consumption angle to it? Like if they pull up and it's an electric car and they plug in, and that kilowattage is dumping into the car, are they paying on that kilowattage, or are you saying it's a one fee per year, they're done?
That's the latter, yes. The fee would be instead of any fuel tax on the electricity.
What about CNG fuels? Those are also considered AEPS vehicles. Stuff running on compressed natural gas. How would you measure that?
That would be imposed on the fuel that's sold by the distributor, similar to what's done today.
I'm not understanding why we're not applying that same approach to electric vehicles.
I think the issue is just the cumbersome nature of requiring an owner of a vehicle to remit a monthly tax return with somewhere between $5 and $10 a month on fuel.
Thank you for that. That's not the angle I'm going. It's very easy to hook up a gas pump to measure how much electricity it's distributing at the time. I mean, the transportation bill we ran a couple of years ago was my bill. I understand it pretty well. I'm wondering why we are treating AEPS, particularly electric vehicles, so differently than standard gasoline vehicles. I mean, you've already said we're going to charge CNG vehicles, which in the West we figure is going to be the future. We're seeing more and more of it. They're getting charged by how much they consume. They don't have that same structure that an electric car does. Is that a correct statement?
And Dan, before you answer that, isn't part of it the fact that the tax is in existence now and nobody complies? So
that's
it's
true.
truly like nobody complies, right?
Yes. Right.
I'll just add, the only compliance we have is a handful of basically commercial businesses, and I'll just mention Hershey's Chocolate World, for example. They have electric recharging facilities at Chocolate World. The electricity is dispensed for free, no charge to the consumer, but Chocolate World remits the tax that would have been due on that electricity. So we just have a tiny bit of compliance. There's basically no compliance at the individual consumer level.
So I didn't mean to interrupt your answer, but I mean, that's part of, I guess, what the bill's trying to get to, right?
Yes, absolutely. The tax is imposed now. It's only a question of how is it best collected.
So, I mean, we're actually technically imposing it the way Representative Pyle is suggesting, except nobody's obeying.
Chairman, and hopefully you can, because this isn't clicking, why are we not fitting up the distribution device, the little electric thing they plug into? Why are we not putting a meter on that and saying your cost, instead of being $5, is going to be $5.30 for the electricity consumed? It would bring everything into a standard uniform model. If you use Pennsylvania's roads and bridges, you all get nicked the same way.
Yeah, I think part of the issue there is that a homeowner may have no way to do that if they own a plug-in vehicle.
I just like to add one point. Regarding the meter that you're talking about, I guess that there's two ways to handle that. One would be to have the source of the electricity with a meter on it. It's being dispensed. But the problem with that is if my friend and I or whomever have those, if I go and recharge at somebody else's house or some other station, the electricity, that individual maybe would have to pay the tax if the meter would be on I'll call it the distribution unit. The other way would be to have it on the vehicle itself, which would require, I don't know that there's technology there right now to actually put a meter.
No.
So you're talking about on the actual...
I'm saying at the distribution point, like everybody else, it's been working for a while.
Right. Now, some of the other states in the U.S. are using this annual registration fee. It's not uncommon. I think there's a dozen or so states doing that. But I understand your
I just,
point. Yeah.
level field, I mean, we're big on CNG. It's cleaner burning, we get better mileage, and it's cheap where we live. We see our fleet moving that direction. We're going to pay for every gallon of CNG we use, but the electric guys pay a one-size-fits-all annual fee, and they're clear. I don't know that that's really going to work. Thank you, Chairman.